I quickly want to talk to the charge of the commission, and I'm going to read some words directly from the legislation that passed that initiated the commission. Whereas all Rhode Islanders depend on and deserve a safe and reliable electric power and natural gas transmission and distribution infrastructure system to meet the demands of today and the unexpected demands of tomorrow. Period. A dependable electrical and natural gas transmission and distribution infrastructure system is critical to homeowners as well as businesses. Pretty straightforward. I'm not certain anybody disagrees on that. It is imperative that Rhode Island plans for the needs of today and tomorrow. To that end, a reliable and resilient gas and electric and natural gas transmission and distribution infrastructure system is paramount. Let me talk to our specific charge, and the charge is even less. The purpose of the commission shall be to make a comprehensive study and evaluate Rhode Island's electric and natural gas transmission and distribution system infrastructure. In light of all that, no pun intended there about light from a national grid perspective, or ISO perspective, in light of all that, we have to be unaware and understand the appreciation of the goal of our 2030 goal and our 2030 and our 2050 goal we have for the state of Rhode Island with regards to renewables. Critical and forefront, everything we need to do will certainly need to be that context within which we look at this. Over and above or adjacent or directly aligned with that needs to be our increased energy efficiency. Everything we do, right? Everything we do we need to be more energy efficient as we move forward from where we are today. And from the course of renewables, with regards to our fossil fuel sources that we have, they are not renewable. They will run out. From a renewables perspective, we need to understand and appreciate as renewables become more available than they are today, as we drive to increase our use of renewables, how does that factor all the external factors? It's an internal factor, an external factor, but how do all those factors factor into assuring and ensuring we have a reliable and resilient natural gas and electric power transmission and distribution system infrastructure. Everything has to be all around that context of the infrastructure that we have today and the infrastructure we have tomorrow. We're all aware, and this is the last piece I'll say, I'm going to turn it over to Eric Johnson from ISO New England. The electric grid that we have today, when it was envisioned, wasn't envisioned to have energy sources on the input side coming from more than the designated places for which they're coming. That just wasn't envisioned back then. Maybe it was, and I haven't read that article yet, but for what we're seeing today, that wasn't the creation from a grid perspective that we would have energy sources coming from other than exactly where we know defined they are today or specialized major sources is where they are. Obviously, with the ability of renewables, our infrastructure needs to support that and figure out how to integrate that into the whole as we move forward. So as we move forward, I'm sure we'll hear Eric and Kerry talk to some of that, but keep that in the back of your mind as well. From an electricity perspective, will be different when we talk about natural gas. There'll be some similarities, but many more differences, I think. From an electricity perspective, we've seen the outgrowth in a very good way, the ability for renewables to come online. We've seen some challenges of having those renewables integrated into the transmission and distribution system, so we need to figure out how to address those challenges as we go forward in light of a resilient and reliable infrastructure.